On the 27th of November, which was last month, I went out with my girls and we had a very good time on the night of the 27th of November. And then, after having such an amazing time that day, I got back home the next morning. And upon getting to my house, as I got into my room, I just felt this intense amount of heaviness. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it's prior to how I've been feeling, and then I didn't actually tackle those feelings. I didn't look into those feelings, and then decided to suppress those feelings, and then went out the night of the 27th of November. So, coming back after having so much fun with my friends, I got back, those feelings came rushing back again, but this time around with two times, three times the amount of intensity it had the first time I was feeling it. And then I got into my room and just fell on my bed, broke down, and started crying. At that point, I didn't really know why I was crying. I just knew that I couldn't control the tears that were coming from my eyes. I was just on the bed crying. Then, after a while, when I'd let myself feel the feelings and feel the emotions, even though I don't know where the emotions were coming from, I now decided to sit down and process how I was feeling, like what was making me feel the way I was feeling to the point of crying. Because I'm not the kind of person that just wakes up and starts crying. There should be a reason. That was when I had to sit down and reflect on my thoughts and my emotions. And that was when I realized that I was crying because I felt like I am not deserving of the fun I just had the night prior, because the year is ending and I hadn't achieved the things I thought I would have achieved. And here I am having fun with my friends when I have not achieved the things I wish I had achieved by this time of the year. That was when I realized that I was starting to feel what most people call seasonal depression. I wouldn't technically call it depression because depression is a very intense word, but that is what it's called. But I would like to call it seasonal blues. You know, that feeling of birthday blues. Your birthday is coming up, and for those who are scared of getting older, they're scared of getting older. They are not happy on their birthdays. That's what I'm kind of feeling as Christmas is approaching, and I didn't really tackle those feelings, and it came back rushing back again, because that's one thing most of us tend to do when we are feeling maybe an emotion, especially negative emotions, because positive emotions is easy to handle, that we celebrate, right? But for negative emotions, most people tend to run away from those emotions. Either they don't talk about it, or they don't actually sit with themselves to think about what they are feeling, how they are feeling in the moment. Because, like I said, it's a negative emotion. Who wants negativity? Who likes having a negative aura around them? Obviously, we don't like that. So, we tend to run away from those emotions. So, apparently, I've been feeling that way prior to the 27th, but I kind of brushed it off. And then coming back after having such a good time, it's like my brain brought back those emotions to guilt trip me. I think my brain is guilt tripping me. Brought back those emotions to guilt trip me and be like, you're having fun, and yet this is what you're feeling on the inside. And I think that was why I broke down and started crying. But whilst I was reflecting on the emotions, that was when it occurred to me that although I'm a preacher of abundance mindset, I haven't actually gotten to that extent of having an abundance mindset, so to speak. Because why am I crying about the things that I still have the opportunity to achieve? There is no other reason for that, if not that I do not believe that I can achieve them, because the year is ending. The year is just another day, it's another month. Nothing has really changed except for the numbers on the calendar. So why am I crying because I didn't achieve the goals I gave myself to achieve this year, as if I'm dying tomorrow? We don't know. We don't know. But as if I'm dying in the next 5 seconds. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. These ideas are still in my head. It's not as if I have amnesia. These goals are still in my mind. These goals are still fresh in my mind. And I'm still alive and healthy. So why am I crying? So that got me to realize that we, most of the time, we tend to preach things when we are not in that situation. We go, oh, have an abundance mindset, be open, know that things are going to work out. But until you're in that situation where you feel like nothing is going to work out, that is when you realize your capability to practice an abundance mindset. That situation. If you're placed in a situation where you're really down, you're really broken because of situations around you, that is when you are tested to know if you actually have an abundance mindset. Because that was the day I realized that, hey, you're talking about abundance mindset all this while, but you actually do not have the mind of abundance. Because if you do, you wouldn't be here crying because the year is ending and you didn't achieve certain goals. I mean, if I'm to look back sincerely, I actually achieved a lot of goals this year. But the thing with the mind is it tends to make us focus on the negative side of things, magnifies the negative side of things. Maybe the goals we didn't achieve are like 4 or 5 things out of the list of 10 things. And it's these 4 or 5 things that you couldn't achieve that your mind will constantly magnify in your eyes. And then those other things you might think that are minute that you never really had before, your mind wouldn't let you think towards that direction. It's left for you to put yourself in a situation where you're controlling what your mind is making you feel. Because if you let your mind control you, trust me, you are never going to be appreciative of the things that are happening around you. Whether it's a good thing, you will not be able to see it. People will be trying to point towards you, telling you that, hey, these are the amazing things that are happening for you. You should be happy. You wouldn't understand what they're saying because your mind has magnified the negative side of things for you. That day, I had to start teaching myself to learn to practice gratitude, even for the tiniest things. Like, I'm grateful for having water to drink today. I'm grateful for going to the hospital throughout this year and not really falling ill or getting any form of infectious diseases. These tiny things, you will never see your mind pushing you towards that direction. It's always the negative one that your mind will be telling you, you have not do this, you have not do that. It's left for you as an individual to actually force your mind towards thinking positive, even when it's trying to push you towards a negative direction. So that day was like a turning point for me this year, November 27th. I don't think I'll ever forget that year because after crying, I was like, why am I even crying? Why am I really crying? I mean, yeah, I didn't achieve certain things, but I still did achieve things after crying and then having a little bit of a retrospective moment. That was when I had to calm down and say it's not over. I mean, I'm still alive and breathing. Despite the ups and downs with life, the stress that comes with living, that still doesn't mean that we shouldn't be grateful for life, right? So that was when I had to start, practicing gratitude, thinking positively. It's hard, believe me, especially when the brain is wired to think negatively. It's hard for you to think positively, but I've been able to start incorporating positive thinking. And also, when it comes to goal setting, I've started practicing another way of setting goals, not giving myself like a whole year plan. I have my daily goals, I have my weekly goals, hourly goals. These tiny, tiny goals are pushing me towards a particular set of goals. One thing I've noticed is if I'm to set a goal for a whole 1 year, if I didn't achieve it in January, I'll be like, I have 11 months remaining. I might as well push it to February, right? Procrastination getting the best out of me. So the things I've been doing now is giving myself quarterly goals, and all these goals encompasses the things I want to achieve for the whole year. Like my fitness, I know that for the past 6 months I couldn't hit the gym because of how everything went this year. This year has been, full of so many activities. If you watch the first video I posted after not being on here for 6 months, if you watch my I got suspended from medical school video, you see a lot of things happen that actually shifted me from my normal routine. I stopped working out. I stopped reading as much as I wanted to read, not just academic books, other type of books. I stopped taking care of myself and my mind in general. I stopped eating properly. I started eating a lot of junk, started drinking a lot of soda. These things might not be affecting you in any shape or form, but for me as a person, I know that these things that I've listed are the things that if I do, it tends to drift me off my track of actually delivering my 100% when doing things. And for the past 6 months, I've constantly been doing these things, not really taking care of my spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental well being in general. And it caught up to me on the 27th of November when it's like a reality check that the year is ending. And to me, it's like I've wasted the entire year because, like I said, I've not been on my daily routine that keeps me mentally in check. But aside for these things, I still was able to, bring myself out of that mental state to remind myself that, yeah, I fell back here and there, but even though upon still, I'm still here, right? It's still another chance given to me by God to rewrite the wrong things I've been doing for the past 6 to 7 months. And I don't have to wait for January to start rewriting those wrongs. And that's why I had to start looking for a way to start gradually incorporating these things that I've not been incorporating into my routine, gradually into my routine. I had to find a way to incorporate moving my body, going to the gym. I mean, I'm very busy this year. This year we're about to enter is even going to be busier. So I had to be realistic with myself. Going to the gym for 3 4 times in a week is not going to be feasible for me at all. And one thing about me is that once something starts being difficult, I tend to fall back. So I had to make my daily and weekly routine as simple as possible. I mean, tiny drops of water makes a mighty ocean. You don't necessarily have to go to the gym 4 or 5 times to see progress at the end of the year. So that is why I started going to the gym just once in a week and then moving my body at home when I get back from work or from school, because right now school is like work to me. So I started incorporating going to the gym once a week instead. But that once a week, I'm going to kill my entire body. I'm killing my upper body, my lower body, my glutes, my back, my abs. I'm killing everything that once a week. And then the rest of the week I find at least twice within that week in the evenings to do home workouts as well. And then I start incorporating trekking. So I had to start trekking to the gym instead of using transportation to the gym. I had to start walking so that I'll give myself the chance to, absorb the things that are happening around me, because medical school can make you lose touch with reality sometimes because you are so engulfed with the activities surrounding school. You don't really have the time to walk about, and if you're going to go and spend your time with friends, it's just very limited, maybe like once in 6 months, once in 7 months. So incorporating walking to the gym has given me the opportunity to listen to my favorite podcast, look at what is happening, meet new people, bump into someone that you haven't met in so long, just because you give yourself the opportunity to walk that day instead of entering transportation to wherever you are going to. So these are the little things I had to start incorporating to make life feel like it's worth living again, and not letting myself drown into depressive thoughts because I'm letting the negative emotions overwhelm me at this time of the year. I know it's that time of the year where a lot of thinking is happening, a lot of comparison may be going on because people are sharing their end of the year achievements and you're comparing yourself with them. So it's that time of the year again. So I'm here to remind you that if it's not your winter arc yet, it's okay. If it's been blowing up on YouTube recently, everybody's like 90 days, we are locking in 60 days. If you didn't lock in, it's okay, it's fine. Okay, I'm there with you. I didn't lock in as well, but right now we are gradually getting back into routine. It might not necessarily be 90 days streak of doing the right things, but at least we're doing the right things, right? Even if it's 2 3 times in a week, we are doing the right things. We're trying. It's not easy. I mean, our lives, we cannot be comparing it with those who have decent amount of time to do certain things. That's not an excuse, but we cannot just be out here comparing ourselves with them when we know that we have limited time ourselves in 24 hours. So even if it's 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, you take this out to take care of yourself as a human being. You have to be alive well, and by well, you're not just well physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically well for you to perform and actually achieve those excellent goals, right? So as long as you're taking out 10 15 minutes a day to do something that makes your heart full, that makes you feel fulfilled that day, go ahead and do it. And then gradually, you'll be able to increase the intensity. And before you know it, you get into your winter arc, maybe by the middle of 2025, because you've gradually built up that momentum, gradually improving your routine, gradually improving your mindset, gradually improving yourself in general. And before you know it, you've built up that mental muscle, that mental capacity to actually tackle intense things that are about to be pushed onto you in 2025. And then you see yourself excelling more this coming year than you did this year, because you didn't push yourself beyond your capacity. You actually took your time to work on yourself gradually, even if it takes you longer than 90 days, while still pushing yourself to achieve these big goals. Don't forget to appreciate life, practice gratitude, practice appreciation. It goes a long way in helping you think positively than negatively, especially in this time of the year. I may not have my winter arc, but I'm definitely getting there. If you're experiencing this situation that I've spoken about in this video, or you've experienced it before, feel free to also drop in the comment section what are the things you did, some of the things you did that helped you come out from this state of feeling down and moody during this time of the year. I've heard people say something about, because of how the weather is changing, everywhere is kind of gloomy. Gloomy weather tends to affect our emotions as well. The ambience of a place has been scientifically linked to how we as human beings feel. So in this type of weather, how have you been able to tackle these depressive swings or these sad mood swings that may come and go? What are the things you are doing, some of the things you've done before that has worked for you? Feel free to also put in the comment section. I might try to practice incorporate some of these one or two things into my routine as well to make me feel even much better. I am no longer crying, don't worry. But the emotions still are there. You just don't switch off from being sad to happy immediately. It takes time. But I'm gradually leaning towards the happy side gradually. And hopefully before 2025, I'll get back to my normal self again. Naturally become steady with the routines I've started practicing this month prior to 2025. And hopefully by November 27th of 2025, we'll come back here to have a conversation, but it wouldn't be surrounding me crying again. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Tea Time with ABW, a series on this channel where I just chill and I talk about how I'm feeling and what is happening in the world. And if you enjoyed this video, you definitely enjoyed this video right here, where I spoke about difficulties surrounding adulthood and how I've been trying my best to tackle all these difficulties as a young adult. Don't forget to give this video a like, because it helps YouTube to push out my video to more like-minded people like you to see. Feel free to share this video to your friends, family, and your enemies this holiday season, so in case they are feeling like I am, or they felt that way before, they can give me an advice, or they can take away something from this video that will make them feel a lot better. And I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Until then, stay happy and stay blessed. Happy New Year in advance. Bye.